Hello everybody, we are going to do our unit circle project starting today. This is your first video for the unit circle project. So you print out the document that I gave you. If you don't have a printer, then please draw a circle on your piece of paper. That is, well, I'll tell you the diameter of it in a minute. I'm actually going to orient this, I'll orient it this way. Okay, so unit circle project. First thing we need to do is find the center of the project. If you don't have a printer, in a few minutes I will measure and see the diameter of this. So to find the center, we're just going to fold the paper. Make sure you fold it right over top of itself. You might have to hold it up to a window for some light. Fold it in what might be the x-axis direction and the y-axis direction. So fold it in both of those places across. Notice that the circle's not exactly in the middle of the paper, so you're not just folding the paper in half, you're folding the circle in half. Okay, so creating, and it's not exactly in the middle of the paper. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so there's our folds. Those folds are actually going to become our x-axis and our y-axis, and now we can see the center of the circle. So here's the center of the circle. Okay, maybe I better use some bigger markers so you can see that better. There's the center of the circle, and now we're going to add our x-axis and y-axis. X-axis is right across that fold. And extend that x-axis and y-axis beyond the circle, please. So here's our x-axis, label it X, okay? And y-axis, and label that your y-axis. Arrows on both ends. Okay, now I can measure that if you didn't have a printer to be able to print it. It is a circle with a diameter of 15 centimeters. Okay, so if you need to draw your own circle, 15 centimeter diameter, and that will work the best. We can make any circle work. We're going to call this a unit circle, which means that the radius, so from the center to anywhere on the outside of the circle, is 1 unit long, actually. Okay, so unit circle. Okay, so your first definition, and I'd like you to put the definitions on the back of your paper, please. Your first definition is, okay, so I'm going to move mine off to the sides, but you're going to write this definition on the back of your paper. Unit circle. Unit circle is a circle whose center is at 0, 0. So center's at 0, 0. And whose radius is 1 unit. One unit. Okay, so if you have to pause the video, of course, as you do the work, pause it and then start again. Okay, so unit circle. A circle whose center is at 0, 0 and whose radius is 1 unit. All right, so what does this mean for our unit circle then? It means that the ordered pair right here in the middle is 0, 0. That's the center. And let's put the rest of our ordered pairs that we know, the ones that are right on the axes, x-axis and y-axis. So this one over here, since this is 1 unit long, will be 1, 0. And the one on this side will be -1, 0. Okay, just putting those ordered pairs on an axis. Up here, we will have 0, 1. And down here, 0, -1. Okay, so make sure you understand all of those ordered pairs. Okay, because the radius is 1 unit long. So all of these distances are 1. All right, next, in red. So choose your red marker, please. I'm going to I'm going to, I'm getting hit by a snowball while making this video. Great, my son just threw a snowball at me. It's snowing today. April 28th, 2020. We woke up to a few inches of snow on the ground, and it's still snowing even though it's almost noontime now. Alrighty, what am I going to do with this snowball? Sorry, guys. All right. Here, yeah, thank you. Take it. Turkey. All right, so when we are measuring any angle on a unit circle, we always begin with that positive x-axis. So this is always where we begin measuring our angles from. So please draw over that with a red marker or some sort of red color okay, to represent the beginning. Okay, this now brings us to our next definition. So your next definition, which you will write on the back of your unit circle, is initial ray. And the initial ray is a ray from which an angle rotation begins. Okay, so initial ray, a ray from which an angle rotation begins. And for us, that means our positive x-axis. Okay, now let's talk about terminal ray. So the word initial in English means beginning, the word terminal means end. Okay, so terminal ray means the ray at which an angle rotation ends. The ray at which an angle rotation ends. Okay. Oh, I just realized that maybe we might not know the word ray. The word ray just means that it's a line with an arrow at the end. So there's no arrow at this end. It goes in one direction. It could be in any direction. Okay. So a ray is a line with an arrow only at one end. Okay, so initial ray and terminal ray, we need those definitions. All right, now let's add some angles on here. We already know all of these angles that are represented. Starting with this initial ray, we're going to go around counterclockwise, which is how we measure positive angles. So counterclockwise, this angle in degrees will be 90 degrees, okay? Now, let's, we'll continue to use black here. Okay, so this will be 90 degrees. Keeping in mind, please, we're starting at this initial ray, going counterclockwise as far as the place where we're going to write how big the angle is. Okay, so the angle is this angle inside here that we're always dealing with. All right, so at 0, 1, that's 90 degrees. Or we could say pi over 2 radians. We already talked about radians, and okay, so both of those, 90 degrees or pi over 2 radians. Okay, then if we keep going around, this is going to be 180 degrees, 180 degrees, or pi radians. This one down here is going to be 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2 radians. And over here, 360 degrees, or 2 pi radians. And we also need to have 0 on here. So if we start at this initial ray and go nowhere, so have no angle whatsoever, that is also 0 degrees or 0 radians. Okay, so we have all of those on there. This is our first video for creating our unit circle. See you for video 2.